Good afternoon, and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and today is truly a historic day in Woodbridge as we kick off the project to replace a very old apartment complex with brand new units that's really going to improve the quality of life for all of our residents here in this Buns Lane complex. I'm going to let most of the speakers give you all the details and fill in at the end, but let me first introduce all the dignitaries behind me from our town council. We have our 5th Ward Councilwoman, Debbie Meehan, have our 4th Ward Councilman, Viru Patel, our 1st Ward Councilwoman, Nancy Drum, and Councilman at Large and also a member of the Housing Authority Board, Greg Ficarra. We have our Chief of Staff and Head of the Redevelopment Agency, Marta Levsky, from the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, Anthony Marchetta, from Ingerman Developers, Bruce Morgan, and let's see who I forgot. Karen Barnes from the Chamber of Commerce, Brian Muller, our Deputy Recreation Director, Marta Levsky, our Housing Director, and of course, none of this would have been possible without Donna Brightman, the head of the Woodbridge Housing Authority. Let me start by introducing, this is a partnership between the town, the Housing Authority, the private sector, and the state. Everybody had to work together for a long time now, not even months, more like years since this project's been on the drawing board. And no partner has been as important as the state of New Jersey, providing financing and providing expertise in making sure this got done. Anthony Marchetta has run the HMFA for many, many years. He's worked with Woodbridge on many, many projects, including the last time he was in town for the groundbreaking of Delena Manor. So I'd now like to ask Anthony Marchetta to please come up and say a few words on behalf of the state.
Thank you, Mayor. Don't you love his beautiful pink shirt? I love Mayor McCormick's shirt. Well, I'm very happy to be here. New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency has worked not only with the mayor here in Woodbridge, but with Ingerman throughout the state of New Jersey. And you're very fortunate. You've got a great team to put together. I think what you're going to see is a beautiful housing project in the very near future. They not only get the money, and it's not easy to get the money. In fact, typically, we get requests for financing on the low-income housing tax credit program, about 4 for everyone that we can actually fund. And in fact, earlier today, Bruce was at our board meeting. We had a board meeting this morning, and he had his applications ready to go in on May 2nd for phase 2 and 3 of this project. So he's working hard to get not this project done, but the next 2 projects done associated with this property. I think you're going to be completely satisfied with the work that's going to be done here and quite proud of the net results. And I want to commend all those individuals that have been involved with this process because you've succeeded, and it's very hard to succeed. Just think about the financing. It's a $24 million project for this phase alone. The agency has about 3 different sources plugged into that $24 million that represents about $20 million. But you still have a $4 million gap. And $4 million is not a small amount of change. And they were able to find those $4 million. The next 2 phases were going to be equally as large. And you've got a great team trying to get the financing for that. Again, I want to commend all those that have been involved and congratulations on this project. I look forward to being here in about a year when they have the ribbon cutting. Congratulations.
Next up is Karen Ehrlich, who's our Chief of Staff and Head of the Redevelopment Agency. But first, I want to introduce the members of the board of the Affordable Housing Corporation, which has really taken this project under its wing. Our Executive Director, the great Phil Hall. Let's hear for Phil. We have Tim Casey and Ryan Michelson. And Anthony committed a major faux pas by not introducing his second in command, Donna Rendiro from HMFA. He'll pay for that later, I'm sure. And I also want to introduce one of our former town clerk, longtime employees in Woodbridge Township, Helen Feeder, who's a resident here. And now I'd like to ask Karen Ehrlich to say a few words.
I get to work on a lot of phenomenal projects, and I have to put this right up there in the top, I would say a top few, 2 maybe, projects, because this one is what I would call a feel-good project. When we can invest this money and make the lives of the people who live here better, that's a win-win for everyone. These apartments are just old. They're not a comfortable place to live. It's very difficult to have pride in your home ownership when you're living in 1950s apartments. And when you look at the plans for these new apartments, they're just amazing. Everything that you would want. If you were to pay a contractor to come into your home and renovate your home, this is what they would do. Everything is top of the line quality. And I know you're all anxious to move into your new digs, but we're working hard to get you there. And to all of the residents, I want to say congratulations. And to the team that we have been working with, Donna Brightman and everybody at the Housing Authority has just been outstanding. The HMSA and the state have been fantastic to work with. All of my committees, the Affordable Housing Corp, the Redevelopment Agency, and it has been one group effort. And I have to also mention Bruce Morgan, who is probably the best affordable housing developer out there. So thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of Bruce Morgan from the Ingerman Group, Bruce we met way back when he renovated the old Maple Tree Tavern into Maple Tree Manor. He then built the beautiful Reinhardt Manor project in Colonia, sold out almost instantly. Now he's working on the finishing touches of Delina Manor in Hope Lawn. And this is just the next project in his bailiwick here in Woodbridge Township. And he's just, as Carol said, a great affordable housing developer, great developer regardless of what he's building. I'd like to now ask Bruce to say a few words.
Hi, my name is Bruce Morgan. I came to Woodbridge 20 years ago to work on this project, actually, and that's when I met the mayor. The mayor told me his number one priority 20 years ago was to redevelop Woodbridge, this project, Buns Lane. Unfortunately, we tried twice, spent $200,000 on HUD applications to raise financing, and were unsuccessful. I think they felt sorry for me, so they let me redevelop Maple Tree Manor, which came out pretty nice. But I wasn't going to give up on this project. I thought this project really was deserving. Donna was successful in getting a RAD award, and we multiplied that with the tax credit award, and here we are today, 20 years later, breaking ground on a fantastic project. But it couldn't have happened without a lot of help. Every time I come to Woodbridge to build a project, I am very thankful for the people that I work with in this town. Carol and Marta and the mayor and Bob Landolfi and John and all of the other people in town. Things happen in Woodbridge, and they happen in Woodbridge for a reason. They've got a great group of people here. But outside of that, there's a lot of people that are involved in this project who people don't see on a day-to-day basis. My engineers, my architects, Matrix New World, Haley Donovan, the folks at Ingerman's office, Stephanie and Todd do great work for PR and marketing. Ingerman Construction, I think, does a fantastic job on building these projects, and everybody comes together as a team. And I wanted to thank everybody because I wouldn't be here today without their help. We're really excited about this project, and great things are coming to Buns Lane.
Thank you, Bruce. Tony mentioned my shirt. Just for those of you watching at home, and you might see this in 3 months and might be replaying, we're 3 days from Easter, which explains the pink. And our next speaker, Greg Ficarra, is dressed appropriately in a purple shirt. So I'd like to ask Greg to come up, but first I want to tell you a story. I've got a shirt just like that, a nice bright purple. And I wore it one day to the YMCA to read to the pre-K kids, and as soon as I walked into the door, one kid says, "Look, it's Barney." And I went home and I took the shirt off and I threw it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Ficarra.
Hi everybody, I'm Barney. Nice to see you all. I would just like to take an opportunity to thank, anytime you can bring private and public agencies together for such a great project, it's quite an accomplishment. But it has been mentioned a few times about the old building here at Woodbridge Gardens. And it has been difficult to maintain it so that the quality of life for the people that live there has been held to a high standard. But let's give a round of applause. First, I'd like all the Housing Authority employees to stand up. Stand up, everybody. Let's give them a round of applause. Doing a great job. They used to be in one place. Now they're scattered, thank you very much, all over. But they're equally as excited. We're all excited. And to the residents of Woodbridge Gardens, soon to be Jacob's Landing, this is a great day. Thank you.
And our last and perhaps most important speaker is Donna Brightman from the Woodbridge Housing Authority. She has been a phenomenal partner for the Township of Woodbridge for many, many years. She really advocates for the residents of Woodbridge, whether it's the existing senior buildings or the newer senior buildings. It's been just a great partnership. This is a project that, as you heard, we've had on the drawing board for a while. It's something we've really cared about. We had to wait for everything to align, the financing and the approvals and everything had to come together. It took a long, long time, but it finally did. So I want to thank Donna for her leadership and her cooperation and for being a great teammate to get this done. And now ask her to say a few words.
Good afternoon, partners, colleagues, and tenants. In 2012, Congress authorized the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, commonly referred to as RAD, because as you know, all us government people talk in acronyms. The program was created in order to give public housing authorities a powerful tool to preserve and improve housing properties. Each year, public housing authorities receive an appropriation from Congress to address their capital needs. But unfortunately, the amount appropriated has never matched the need. Do you know that there are approximately 1.2 million public housing units nationwide, and that the estimated amount of money needed to bring those units up to par is estimated at $26 billion? That's $26 billion. Due to the underfunded capital needs, over 10,000 public housing units fall into disrepair and are taken out of inventory. And because of that, 10,000 households are added to the statistics of either being homeless or housing cost burdened each and every year. Add to that, the Trump administration proposed $6 billion cut to HUD programs, and you can see why every housing authority administrator is waiting in line to get accepted into the RAD program. With that being said, Congress has only authorized 185,000 RAD units nationwide, and the Woodbridge Housing Authority was lucky enough to be chosen to participate in that demonstration program. The RAD program takes us out of the public housing arena, releasing the deed of trust, which allows the public housing authorities to use its buildings as leverage to borrow private money to either rehab or construct new affordable housing units. For Woodbridge Housing, that means that 5 of our senior buildings will receive rehabilitation funds, and 1 building, Stern Towers, and we have our Stern residents over there, some of them, the oldest of our buildings, will be demolished and rebuilt in Port Reading. Of the 150 units of our family housing on Bun Lane will all be demolished and rebuilt into 3 different phases. The Woodbridge Garden Apartments were built in the 1950s and are now over 60 years old. And although we've tried very hard to keep up the property, we just couldn't meet all of the needs with the money that we received from HUD. So it's with the best interest of the tenants in mind that we joined in partnership with the Township and Ingerman to recreate a brand new housing complex, which will be known as Jacob's Landing. I asked Mrs. Fedor, who's sitting over there, to come here today. She is one of the first residents that moved into Buns Lane with her daughter Nancy in 1956. Today, in 2007, Mrs. Fedor resides in Building 9. And although Helen is not looking forward to the actual move, she is looking forward to living into a brand new apartment complete with a garbage disposal, dishwasher, and washer and dryer. And most important to her, she can remain living in the community and neighborhood that she's called home for over 60 years. In concluding, I only have 4 more words to say. Let the demolition begin.
couple more real quick things before we close out. I noticed in the back another Affordable Housing Authority member, Sanjay Shah. Sanjay, thanks for being here. Nancy Drum, our councilwoman in the first ward, which this is her ward, just informed me that she lived here for her very first year as a one-year-old back in 1939 when it was opened.
You'll get that.
She's not smiling, is she?
My pink shirt's better than your pink shirt.
And just to let, this is named, the new complex will be named after Jack Jacobs, who was a Woodbridge resident when he was a Medal of Honor winner in the Vietnam War, a Congressional Medal of Honor winner. He's alive, he doesn't live too close to here, but we are going to get him out at the time when we have the ribbon cutting and open up this place. So we're very, very proud to be able to name this place after literally a Congressional Medal of Honor winner for heroism in the Vietnam War. So with that, thank you all for coming out.